You can find From the Dome on iTunes, Podbean.com, and the Podbean app. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, thank you for making us a part of your day. Now, here are your hosts, Augie and Bray.
Welcome back, everyone, to From the Dome. What were we off like 2 weeks there, Aug?
2 weeks. 2 weeks break. Fall break, vacation, couple, I don't know what the hell you were doing, but yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a hiatus there. Partially your fault, partially my fault, partially just, hey, we had a bye week and didn't do anything for North Carolina, so.
Yeah, fuck North Carolina. They don't deserve our podcast. Excited
to be back. So you've been going on a little trip there. You want to tell some people about your trip to Boston?
Yeah, it was a fun trip. We went to Boston, shelled out the money, went to game three of the ALDS, Astros, Red Sox at Fenway. Had never been to Fenway, had never been to a playoff game, so it was pretty freaking awesome. Seats weren't the greatest, but I mean, honestly, it's kind of like Notre Dame Stadium. There's no terrible seat in the house unless you're behind one of those dreaded posts, kind of like Wrigley. But it was just cool to be at a baseball game where, you know, every pitch they're invested. You know, you go to a regular season game and it's, you know, everyone's kind of talking, just drinking, having fun. Yeah, the game might get close, they might start paying attention, but this game, everyone was into every pitch. Red Sox fans, there's some crazy bastards, some of the craziest baseball guys I've ever seen in my life. And they know how to drink there, but damn was the beer expensive, and damn did I spend a lot of money.
How much was your ticket? That was my first question.
So the ticket I got, did a little StubHub SeatGeek comparison, waited, and actually probably should have waited longer, but I got it for $70 a seat.
That's not bad.
Four in a row, so that was, you know, another thing. But game 4, I could have got the same seats for $25 a piece.
Really?
But, yeah. Well, game 4 was on a Monday afternoon. It was rainy. And when I looked at that price, it was probably an hour and a half before first pitch. But, yeah. But at the same time, I mean, when you're going into town, you can't really hope they're going to win game 3 to go to game 4. So, you know, I think we won that one. But $9.50 a beer, that was not fun.
That's not even that bad. I mean, it is bad, but I've seen.
Yeah,
worse.
But you go to like, I mean, Wrigley's a little expensive, but like you go to a White Sox, Cardinals, Reds game. I know it's not the same, but you can get a beer for $6-7, $9.50. That, and it was like a 12-ounce Bud Light. It was taking a lot of money to get drunk. But you had a good weekend. I saw you were at the wedding of Mr. Packy P and Tracy, a couple fans of the show and part of the Notre Dame Twitter family. And looks like you and I think Irish Wonder headed out there together and your wives. How was it, and how drunk did you get?
Dude, it was a lot of fun. We went out there, and yes, congratulations to Packy P and Tracy on their marriage, and thank you again for letting us be a part of your day. I mean, it was a heck of a weekend. We took off Thursday night and kind of went about halfway and hung out. We closed down a Hooters on Thursday night watching the Cubs the Cubs game before they played the Dodgers.
Hooters was the best you could find?
It was within like a 2-second drive from the hotel, like not even on a main street. We technically could have walked, but we were lazy, I guess.
Okay.
There was no hotel bar. We just stayed in a Holiday Inn Express. I just wanted to catch, like, we had to listen to the game on the way down on the radio, and then I turned it on my phone. And then, you know, we wanted to catch the last, 3-4 innings at a bar of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
So,
speaking of which, the Cubbies should be throwing first pitch here in about 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I was looking online at the ticket prices, and I guess I expected them to be a little bit more. They're $96 for standing room.
That's about what I would expect, honestly.
114 for upper deck field box. I mean, that's up in the top right corner, probably the worst seat in the house. 114 bucks. I mean,
but even that, I mean, if you're a true Cubs fan, Barry Beatles,
yeah,
you would be paying the money right now.
I would go. If I would go right now and pay the $150 for a bleacher seat. I mean, no doubt. I go to Notre Dame games every weekend that are more than that.
Exactly.
So, But anyway, back to the wedding. No, great time. A lot. I mean, it was unbelievable how many Twitter people were there. Like I was very surprised by the turnout, and I knew that there would be. But like when they actually got everybody together, and there's like literally 25 of us, like a quarter of the wedding was all Twitter people, and
didn't get an invite.
and it's because you're a Cardinals fan. And
that should have been my invite right there.
But it was funny because we were like our little back couple tables were like the loudest there and just talking. The DJ kept talking about Notre Dame, and every time something like that would happen, we'd all go. It was funny. It was fun to be a part of, and congrats to them. And yeah, Saturday, man, I was I drank a lot on Saturday night, and I felt great on Sunday when I woke up. I totally expected a major hangover. But it was lovely when I woke up Sunday. But I was trying to count how many beers I had, and all that I really remember is I know for sure I had 3 beers on last call, and those went down. We're still going down like water, and who knows how many beers I had, but I was feeling it.
Could have been like that bar we went to in Myrtle Beach on your bachelor party. It was a 6 a.m. bar, and when I walked up and I said, "Hey, a 6 a.m. bar," what that means is what we meant by that was they opened at 4 a.m. after the regular bars close and close at 6 a.m. So, of course, our asses decided to go right before our 10 a.m. flight.
Well, it's our last night there.
It was our last night there.
We closed down the bar on Myrtle Beach, right?
Yeah.
At whatever time that is, and go ahead.
So we walk into the bar, and I'm like, hey, can I get a Yingling? Because that's all we had been drinking. And I said, oh, no, sorry, sir. We only serve light stuff.
Light stuff.
And I swear to God, they chased those beers with water. So it could have been one of those situations.
Yeah, it was even watered down Miller Lite. I mean, it was not good, but
not as good as the fresh cold hams that I'm drinking right now.
I'm watching you right now on this Skype call, and I cannot believe that you're drinking hams.
Oh, I got a little birthday party pregame thing. I don't know. Someone's turning 21, and I'm going, so I needed a little head start, but had to do the show at the same time.
Of course, I love it.
Right.
So,
there.
all right.
But hey, yeah. Congrats to those two, but we got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we got a little catching up to do. What I don't really want to do is I don't want to spend too much time on North Carolina per se, because that's kind of past us, I would say.
And it's probably a good thing, because you know how much of that game I watched?
Yeah, I was going to say you didn't watch any of it.
Not a single down. Followed on my phone while I was waiting for my flight to take off. Couldn't find a TV with it on. Got on the flight, landed. They were in like the late third quarter, decided, no, not worth it.
So you flew to Boston.
Flew to Boston. Flew
Nice.
from Chicago to Boston.
So how much was that flight?
Well, good old Spirit Airlines, $90 round trip.
Nice. Dang, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Would you just take a duffel bag with all your stuff in it?
I pulled the old Nick Lertola. Nick's one of our buddies that did the same thing on Myrtle Beach, and threw everything in a backpack, and we were off. No extra fees for the baggage.
I can tell you this. We need to do that Myrtle Beach trip again.
Oh, probably the funnest trip I've ever been in, by far. Someone's got to get married.
That was unreal. Okay, so anyway, the only question I was going to ask you about North Carolina was what you thought of Ian Book, and since you didn't watch any of the game, I don't know what you have to say there.
I don't have much, but from what I heard, he played all right. Had some downers, had some uppers, but I don't think there's a quarterback controversy from what I've heard.
No, there's definitely not. And it's, I was looking at some of the stats here on the season, and you know what? He did what we needed him to do, and he won us the game on the road. That's really all that matters. It was a little soggy. We gave Wimbush an extra week to heal his foot, or it was soggy. Did you like that?
Soggy.
Moist. I know a lot of people like the word moist.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people are getting moist just thinking about that soggy field.
There you go. So yeah, he did enough. I'm looking at the stats on the year, and people are like, he can throw it so much better. And I think he might, right? But at the same time, you look, we have a pretty nice sample size of Ian Book to this point. He's 20 for 39 for 197 yards and 1 touchdown, 2 picks. That is, he has 51.3% completion percentage, and Ian Book has 51.3. Wimbush has 51.9. So,
Look, I don't think there's any debate right now. Brandon Wimbush is your best bet at quarterback, and we don't even really have to have that conversation. But it is nice to know that you have someone behind Wimbush that isn't totally a turd. Someone
Absolutely.
that could someone that can, if a situation occurs like that game, where your starting quarterback gets hurt, whether he got hurt on a night out, whether he got hurt football activities, who knows? It's nice to know you got someone behind him that's not totally terrible. We were kind of in that situation with Zaire and Kaiser, and look what happened with that. So it's nice to know that there's always that backup. At least come in and give us somewhat of a chance.
Absolutely. I mean, you're exactly right. If Wimbush were to go down at some point in the game and Book came in, I think this weekend, let's say Wimbush went down in the third quarter, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. If Ian Book came in, I think you're comfortable, right? I think you're like, okay, we can still compete and we can win this game with this guy.
Even if it's like for a drive or two or a play or
yes.
two. It's not like the past where, someone goes down, it's like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? I mean, we're not gonna throw the ball, we don't have any backs that can run the ball. I mean, now we have backs that can run the ball, plenty of them, who are also now supposedly supposed to be all healthy except for one, I believe. Coming off the bye weeks, they got those guys healthy, ready to go. So we are fine if he comes in for a play or two or a drive or even a game or half a game.
Yeah, and I think we hit it on the head. I think we're comfortable with it. It's not something that we want. To us, there is no quarterback controversy whatsoever. Wimbush is our guy, and the key. And as we move forward and get into the meat and potatoes of the schedule, is he has to continue to get better in the passing game. He has to continue to make strides.
And before we completely move on, I'm going to ask you this, and it's a no-brainer question: how clutch was the bye week when it was?
I don't think it could. I think it could not have come at a better time.
It was beautifully. Obviously you had no way of telling that's going to happen, but just such a beautiful bye week. I've never been so excited about a bye week. Maybe last year because we weren't playing to break my heart.
Well, right. And if you think about it, with the week that Wimbush got off at North Carolina, it's been 3 weeks for him to heal.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So. Well, yeah, 2 to 3. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, perfect timing. I mean, just couldn't have come at a better time.
So I listened to a very, very brief portion of the Brian Kelly press conference today, and did not catch anything on Dex and his health. I don't know what you know, but I'm looking down some of the beat writers' Twitter feed right now, and nothing is popping up. So it obviously wasn't. To me, someone didn't ask about him and say he's out. So I guess that's to be determined on our end for that. But I hope he's ready to go.
So the only tweets I've seen, I saw one from Sean Stiers today, who is a local reporter, that Kelly says Elijah Taylor, in parentheses, foot, will not play rest of the season. All RBs are healthy after tweaking ankles during first 6 weeks.
Okay, good, because I saw Notre Dame football Snapchat today, and I saw Dex going through a drill, and he was fully dressed. He had what looked like it looked like he was literally playing in a walking boot, but that's how taped up his ankle was. But
yeah, so he's probably healthy, but will we see him a lot? Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the question.
We'll see. But also, looking at some of the from the press there as well, and you might be going into this. Looks like Kevin Stepherson might have a bigger role this week and going forward.
I definitely had a little bit of an update on him on the old outline tonight, so that's very good. I guess what I want to get into at this point is kind of like a mid-season, let's take a look at where we are type thing. We did this a couple episodes ago. I asked you this question, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 episodes ago. Are we where you expected? Are we on pace for what you thought? We're sitting here at 5-1, heading into USC after a bye week.
I think we are record-wise where I thought we would be. Now, talent and what I've seen on the field, I did not expect to be where we are. I did not think I would be going into the USC week thinking we had a chance to win the game. I really did not think I would be thinking we should win the game.
That's fair.
So I really think we are ahead of where I personally thought we were going to be, and I think a lot of people thought they were going to be.
Well, I picked Notre Dame to go 10-2. I picked us to lose to USC and Georgia, and in my little swing pick type hey, if this happens, this is my game for it, right? My swing pick was if we beat USC, we're in the playoff, assuming we went out. If we lose this game, obviously that kind of puts an end to our playoff hopes. So at the beginning of the year, I picked us to lose this game. And looking through some of my notes, I mean, look, I tweeted at the beginning of the year and said that the quality of the opposing quarterbacks on our schedule was a big reason why I picked them to win 10 games and picked Notre Dame to win 10 games. Losing the early one to Georgia against, obviously, Fromm, who's turning into a decent quarterback, and that offense is really starting to hum. That definitely hurts, right? But we're still on track to finish 10-2. The QBs get a little bit tougher down the rest of the schedule, but none really scare me as much as Darnold and in this game. And look, I don't think that he's really lived up to the hype this year, the Heisman hype and blah, blah, blah. Close. Right, he's turning the ball over a lot, but he's still a guy to me that at any moment can just flip that switch and go crazy and be dangerous.
Yeah, and I think you kind of put it out there. He's easily the best quarterback we have faced this year. By far. I can't even two of the three of the 4 or 5 teams, I can't even name their quarterback. So easily the best quarterback we've faced. But I think you're absolutely correct as well that he has not lived up to any hype that was put on him. And I've watched, a couple, not a whole game of his at all, but I've watched here and there. And I think of the probably 20 minutes I've watched USC this year, he's probably thrown 2 picks. And you hear, and I keep hearing and seeing tweets and things that he's making dumb decisions and I don't know how to put it, but he's not making the decisions he's used to making or has made in the past. So, yeah, he's probably the best quarterback we face, but he is prone to mistakes. So that makes me a little hopeful.
Yeah, he's thrown 9 picks this year. I mean, if you would have,
if the math right there,
if you would have told me, imagine this, Augie. I tell you at the beginning of the year that when Notre Dame plays USC, Matt Darnold would have more interceptions than Brandon Wimbush. What would you tell me?
Give him the Heisman. That's Wimbush.
I mean, that is astonishing to me. Now, some of the stuff, as I've seen a little bit of their games, is some of this stuff is breaking down. He's on the run trying to make a play happen and throws a pick. Now, you can't do that as a good quarterback and a smart quarterback. But at the same time, he's still very, very dangerous, can be very electric, and it would be a very Notre Dame thing to do of us to let him go crazy this weekend. So I'm worried.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't help to be worried, but I think that our defense is strides farther than where we thought they would be.
Absolutely.
And strides farther than they were last year, obviously. So I feel a little more confident in whatever scheme they're cooking up over there, and hopefully, we get him in those situations where he's running and having to make a decision on the fly, which he has proven this season have not been good decisions.
I think, and I think I remember reading this, that we've given up 1 touchdown this year on the ground and X amount through the air, and that's what possibly could happen this weekend, right? I mean, Darnold could kind of tear us up through the air. Just think about what we were talking about last year going into that game. He is going to throw for 600 yards and 8 touchdowns, and not saying we are better defensively, and we're better than we even predicted we could be or would be. But it still worries me because Julian Love still has given up a lot of scores. Watkins, even though he hasn't been tested that much, when he has been tested, he's given up a couple touchdowns. And our corners still seem to not like to turn around and look for the ball when it's in the air. And with the exception of Sean Crawford, who's not really a corner, he's in on the nickel, I believe. And he makes plays, but this is almost a game where you got to just put him on the field because something good happens when he's on the field. So whether he goes in at corner, I don't know where you put him, right? But you got to find a spot for him in this game because he's just got to be on the field to wreak some havoc, take the ball away, etc.
And so what a big point to this game is going to be, and I kind of was going to touch on this if I ever got the chance, and I think this is the best chance. That front 5, 6, 7 guys up on the line and up in that middle linebacker core are going to be huge this week to get pressure on Darnold and to stuff the run when it is there. Because, I mean, I wouldn't say our secondary is weak, but it's definitely the weakest part of our defense. I would probably put some money on that.
Well, at this point, yeah, I mean, and we thought at the beginning of the year it was a strong suit. We thought D-line was going to be struggling. We thought linebackers would be okay, and we thought, hey, we have the most experience at corner. But our D-line's been very good.
Exactly. So big on them and big on those linebackers and that front 5, 6, 7, whoever we're putting in the box there to get some pressure, to get in the backfield and make some havoc, because that's where you're going to make Darnold make mistakes. If we let him sit back there and pick and choose who he wants to throw to, it could be a long day at Notre Dame Stadium.
And we can't forget about the run whatsoever. I mean, Ronald Jones is as good as it gets. He's very explosive.
Exactly. But I would rather them beat us on the ground. Or I would rather make them beat us on the ground than over the top and over the air.
Yeah, and you know they have weapons. They're explosive, and I think that, look, they're not as explosive or as good at the wide receiver position as they have been in the past. So, you know, before we start breaking that down too much, I just kind of wanted to see what you thought was, what you thought are we where you thought we would be? And I think you answered the question, and I did as well. I think we're still we have a real chance to finish 10-2. We have a real chance to run the table. Are we going to? We have a pretty tough stretch down here as you look at the schedule. We have USC at home. We have NC State at home. We have Miami on the road, Stanford on the road. I mean, that's going to be tough coming down the stretch here.
Mm-hmm.
So
you have, yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, just where do we finish? I don't know. This could be really good for us, or it could be the spiral out of control we are used to under Brian Kelly.
Look, I think this week's going to tell you all. This is going to be your tell-all sign team is and what they can be. You beat this USC team at home, you have all the momentum coming into the next couple weeks. You have a very good NC State team coming in. It's very sneaky. I mean, I know they're 16th or 15th ranked now, whatever they are, but they're still a very sneaky NC State team. But I think you beat USC, your rival, at home this week. You can easily run the table. That the only game I would be really, really worried about if we win this week and the next coming weeks is at Miami, because it's on the road.
I agree.
I think I picked them to have 3 losses, and I think I said Georgia, USC, and either Miami or NC State. I'm going to dial it down to 2 losses right now. And
Okay.
If we win this week, I think we run the table. Put it in a lock.
Put it in a lock. Okay.
Put it in a lock.
So let's talk about Josh Adams real quick. What are your feelings on Josh? The consensus to me that I've seen everywhere is that people are upset over the lack of national attention, national exposure. People don't think he's getting enough credit or attention based on his current stats, the numbers that he's putting up. I mean, he's putting up very, very good numbers in comparison to Barkley and Love. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that? Are you happy with it? Are you not happy with it?
Let him stay under the radar as long as possible, because that man is going to just stay under the radar, do what he does, and win us football games.
And you took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, I think that his stats look great. His numbers are against, I wouldn't say the best talent in the world. And when we played Georgia, he wasn't great. But you know what? Go back and look at Derrick Henry numbers from a couple years ago. He has games in there where he only has 50, 60 rushing yards. He doesn't go crazy every single game. Now, I'm not using that as an excuse against good talent. He still has to perform. Okay. So nonetheless, his numbers are impressive. Okay. You can't take anything away from him, but he has to be productive against elite talent. He has to take that next step. To me, honestly, he has a durability issue that needs to be answered just as much as his performance against elite talent, right? I'm not trying to take anything away from him, like I said, but he will start getting the attention that he deserves as these next 6 games go by and he's putting up those type of numbers.
Right. So look, right now, 2017 season, right? 86 carries for 776 yards, a 9.0 average. Phenomenal stats. 5
Absolutely.
touchdowns. Okay, last year, 2016, 158 carries, 933 yards. He is easily going to outdo himself last year. He would have 70-ish carries to get to that 933 mark. So the guy is getting better, and the durability issue is the only thing that you can be any worried about, I think. The guy has gotten so much better from last year. I'm excited to see what he can do against some elite talent. Like you said, I mean, the only really bad game I think he's had was against Georgia. But it's going to be interesting to see if USC comes in this week and keys on him. Are they going to make Wimbush throw it on him? Are they going to make Notre Dame try to get some other backs in there and beat them with them? I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with that.
I think his durability issue is a much larger concern than anybody's even talking about right now. What game has he finished this year?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I agree with you, but at the same time, don't you think we've always talked about in the past, if we have 2 or 3 good running backs, why not use them? So is it that big of an issue that we have 2 or 3 running backs and we use them throughout the game?
No, but I understand what you're saying, and there are games that we've played this year that you talk about Boston College, Temple, Miami, Ohio. Those are games he didn't have to finish, right? But think of Miami, Ohio. He had 100 and blah 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 140 yards in the first quarter and didn't play again because he hurt his ankle, right? And he didn't go out in the first quarter because you're up 52-17. He went out in the first quarter because he got hurt. He got hurt at one point against Michigan State or hobbled up. Same thing at Boston College. It's like, how many games has he really finished, and can he go wire to wire in a game? I don't think he can. I think that's a real issue.
So if you're Brian Kelly or if you're Chip Long, whoever's making that decision, are you going to limit his carries early in the game so you could have him at the end of the game,
No.
or are you going to keep doing what you do?
Because you just have to do what he's been. You just keep feeding him, and when he gets hurt, I guess he gets hurt because he's been so good at the beginning of games. Okay, and you can't take that risk and say, well, I'm only going to give him 4 carries in the first half. And no, if he's going to hit the home run, he's going to hit the home run. If he's going to get hurt, he's going to get hurt. So
I bring that up because I was going to make if you're a baseball person, you know what the Nationals did with Strasburg back 3 or 4 years ago in the playoffs. They didn't pitch him because they wanted him for 5 or 6 years later.
Right.
Well, look how that worked for him this past year. Didn't work. So you cannot rest a guy or limit his carries, pitches, whatever sport it is, whatever the guy's doing, trying to make him better for the.
Well, like you said, you have such an unknown, right? How do we know he's not going to get hurt in the fourth quarter? He's going to get hurt. It's inevitable at this point. He hasn't finished a game this year. He has not finished one game this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a real issue.
Do you think the bye week helps him? Maybe the bye week gives him a little rest. I'm guessing he probably stayed off his ankle for a week and a half or so. Does that get him through this game at least?
Well, that's the question. It didn't hurt him, but he's just such a tall runner. He's such a vertical runner. He's 6'2" as it is. He's strong, big and strong, but he still gets hit differently than even Dex gets hit. And
guys are shooting for his lower half easier than of course a 5'4" running back or whatever.
Absolutely. And I think he just takes some hits and he gets caught up sometimes. He gets bent up because he's so tall. And again, I'm not trying to, it's not a problem, but the issue that he hasn't finished a game, he hasn't gone wire to wire in a game is a real issue. And I would love to see him do that this weekend. And I understand your point, and it's something that we've been talking about forever is, hey, we have all these running backs. Let's go. And it's not a bad thing. But to me, it's a legitimate concern that I don't think is getting enough publicity.
I feel you on it, but at the same, I think it could be concerned for him personally, but for the Irish as a whole, as a team as a whole, I'm fine with any of those 3 running backs getting carries.
Yeah,
so.
But we are much better with him getting the ball. Now we talked about in the Georgia game, Dex a little change of pace, and throughout every game, hey, if Dex is healthy, get him the rock. Okay, I like Dex much more than Tony Jones Jr. I personally do. To me, Tony Jones Jr. just doesn't do it for me. Okay, and I'm not trying to take anything away. I don't think we've seen anything crazy out of him. Right? We've seen Dex make big plays. We've seen Josh Adams make big plays. We've seen Deion McIntosh now make big plays. So to me, if we are much better with Josh Adams, okay, and we want to keep giving him the ball and keep giving him opportunities and get Dex in there and some change of pace stuff. So I'm not so maybe I'm not trying to take words out of your mouth, but I feel like you're not so worried if Josh didn't play or were to go down. I think he adds an element to us that I don't think people respect Dex as much in the running game, opposition, the other team.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm not worried. I would say I'm just not as worried as maybe you or some people are. That would probably be the better way to put it. But I think there is a worry there, and I think, it's not a bad problem to have 3 or 4 running backs that are pretty good and can run the ball. But when one is as good as Josh Adams has been and is, you probably want him in the game as much as possible.
Of course, absolutely. Okay, let's transition back into some USC stuff. Don't want to take too much time away from. You just had to do it, didn't you?
This is the only fucking song we know.
That's what I screamed the whole time. The one year I literally sat 4 rows behind the USC band. Okay, and that was both good and bad.
Was it 2 years ago that we've sat in your regular seats 2 years ago, and I mean they're right to the right of us. There.
Yes.
Oh, you can't even hear Notre Dame band at all.
No, you can't.
All you hear is
yeah, it's terrible, and it's in your head forever. But back to what I was saying, I literally sat in that corner where the band used to sit when they were on the field, 4 rows behind them, okay? I walked in the stadium. It's dark already. They're all wearing sunglasses, and I just talk mad crap right to the band. Like, who am I talking crap to the band, right? But I'm just screaming, it's nighttime, you idiots. Why you got sunglasses on? It's nighttime. Just screaming, yelling at them. They're looking at me, laughing, waving. I'm just like, God, you suck. You play the same song over and over again. Doesn't ever get tired. I'm just screaming, giving them shit.
I was just saying, you know what they said back to you? This is the only fucking song we know.
Yeah, you're right. And it was good in the fact that I got to talk mess to the USC band, and the band director, I was just hackling the whole time. He's standing up on his little ladder looking at me, and I'm just like, you're an idiot, just giving him shit, right?
You heard it here, folks. Bray Beatles is a hard ass when it comes to the USC band.
I was an unstoppable force that day.
I'm surprised a little yellow vest man didn't come say, yes, sir, we need you to calm it down.
Yeah, me too. I'm surprised as well.
You're making a drunken fool of yourself here at Notre Dame Stadium. We want to be nice to the visitors.
Yeah. But that was fun. Nonetheless. Yeah. Okay, so hey, this is the biggest game under Brian Kelly at home. So we said Georgia was, which I think, it was. But technically, this is the highest ranked team to come into Notre Dame Stadium under Brian Kelly.
And it's USC, baby.
Yes.
It's USC.
So I don't know if you've been on Twitter lately.
Nope, never.
But
what?
There's a new Twitter account out there trying to get people to wear green this weekend. Have you seen any of that?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw Irish Titans might have retweeted him or something.
He did. I think that they're getting some decent publicity, although probably half the stadium is 75 years old and doesn't have a Twitter. So
nope.
We'll see.
So will you be wearing green?
You know what? So these are my thoughts on it, okay? I think it's really cool what Oklahoma, Tennessee, Penn State do, right? Michigan State this year when we played them, they did a little checkered theme. Penn State's famous for their whiteout. I mean, you can even go watch a Michigan game, and the whole thing is maize, And I think it's very cool. I think that would be something that would be, it would add to the atmosphere at Notre Dame Stadium, of which I expect this weekend to be really good and electric. I do. I think it would add an element to that atmosphere that could be beneficial to us. Will I participate? Yes. Because I just want it to be successful. Now I have doubts about it because a lot of people aren't going to do it. It's not going to reach enough people. And to me, if you're going to come up with this idea, you probably should base it around what the students are going to wear, which is the shirt, which is navy blue. So, it's going to be how much green. Let's just say at the absolute best case scenario that 80% of the fans in there, except for the students, are wearing green. So you're going to have a good amount of green. It's going to look good. And then boom, just a nice sea of navy blue because that's what all the students wear.
Mm-hmm.
Unless this is a student on here. I don't know who has the account. I mean, maybe the students are I don't know, But do you think anything like this could ever be successful? Like, do you think at Notre Dame this could ever happen?
So all these places that it happens, Oklahoma, Iowa, I'm just thinking of places I've seen it this year. Every SEC game, every SEC school, they all provide the shirt. More than enough of them provide the shirt.
I know that they have, and I know the Michigan State game when we played there this year, they told each section what to wear, and they just followed through with it. So
if you were to do something at Notre Dame, I think you have to provide the shirt. You have to have it laying there on the bench, on the seat, or an usher handing them out, because Mrs. Jones, who lives on Douglas Street in her home that's had season tickets since Newt Rockne was the, head coach, to wear green. Unless the South Bend Tribune puts it in the Friday morning paper. So, which would help. But Twitter is not going to be your avenue with Notre Dame. So, do I think there will be a lot of green? Probably. I think for something like this to happen at Notre Dame Stadium, either the athletic department has to do it, the local South Bend media has got to get behind it. There's just too many old souls. No offense to them. I love some of the old fans at Notre Dame Stadium. There's 2 women that sat behind your seats the last couple of years. I love them. I love their commentary on the games. But they're just not going to get into that.
Yeah, I think you're right. First of all, I think this needed to be started about after the North Carolina game at the latest in terms of getting people on board. And yes, I think the university has to be involved. I don't know if they have to go as far as handing out the shirts. Now, they've been successful with that in the basketball games. They've had blackouts there before, handed out shirts. It looked great on TV.
It's a lot easier to give 20,000 people shirts than 87,000.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%, which is why I think the university has to get behind it and say, hey, this is what we're trying to do. And then you're going to have to do it throughout the course of a couple seasons, and then it's going to be not so successful, and it's going to get better and better and better. And then it's going to become a thing, right? It's got to give it time. So it's not going to happen this weekend. I will participate because it's something that I think it would be cool to be a part of. Like, think about being at Penn State this weekend when they play Michigan and it's a whiteout and being involved in that. That would be sweet, don't you think?
Oh, it'd be freaking sweet. But to be in Beaver Stadium, Happy Valley.
Yeah.
Cheering against the old Wolverines.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
The Skunk Bears. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to participate. I'm going to make Alexis participate. I got 2 buddies coming in town. I'm going to make them participate. And you know what? If I have green stuff, I'm not going to have to go buy anything. Okay? So, I hope it works out. I really don't think it will.
So, no sweater vest this weekend, huh?
No sweater vest. Plus, I think it's going to be decent weather. I heard it's going to be.
Yeah, it looks like the weather. In Muncie, Indiana this week is supposed to be about 75 and sunny.
Really?
Central Michigan Chippewas are coming to town. Homecoming at Ball State.
Saturday.
It's the last Saturday home game.
Nice.
Fuck the MAC.
I got a 72-degree temperature on Saturday.
That's perfect, baby.
That's going to be a nice day.
You're going to need a nice little quarter zip in the morning when you get out there. Yep. Throughout the day, you're just going to start shedding layers. Before you know it, you're going to be drunk, throwing beers at people, talking shit to the band. Yeah, it's going to be a great day out in Notre Dame Stadium. I'm jealous. Wish I could be there.
You're more than welcome. I got 2 extra tickets. Not for free.
Yeah, see, there's a problem. So here's my thing, though. If we win this week, right, that's going to be a big win, right?
Absolutely.
And I have not made it to a game this year yet.
Uh-huh.
If it looks like we're going to win, I'm going to get right on the StubHub. I'm going to buy 2 tickets to next week's game because that'll be the cheapest I'll get them. I will be, if we win, I will be there Saturday, October 28th for NC State Notre Dame.
Okay. I'm holding you to it.
But my lock-in.
All right. So before you buy them on StubHub, please talk to me.
Oh, yeah. No, that was more of it. If we lose, though, I'll see you Navy Week, and I'm not going to the game.
All right. Well, that works out. So
there you go.
Okay.
Yes, if we win, I will be there NC State week.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. I hope this happens. Look, we're going to get into prediction here in a second. I'm nervous, okay? Here we have a Wimbush update. According to Brian Kelly today, he's good to go, 100%. So that's
100%,
good.
Baby.
So he's our guy, right? We don't have to worry about anything. Ian Book didn't show us anything that makes us all say, throw in Book. No, it's going to be Wimbush. He's going to run the heck out of football, I hope. And as a team, we're going to control the line of scrimmage offensively. Kevin Stefferson update. They are talking about keeping him more and more involved. This has to be this is a crucial part to the second half of the season, his involvement and his effectiveness more than his involvement. Any thoughts on him?
He's got to play. He's got to be in there. He's got to make plays. According to Brian Kelly in his presser today, I believe he said he's been more involved in the last couple of weeks. and he is ready to go, and we will see more of him going forward.
And that's what we
His
need.
words.
We need a vertical
His words,
threat.
not mine.
Yes. I mean, look, let's face it. Equanimeous has been god-awful.
Hasn't been what we thought he'd be.
No, and he's soft. He's being jammed at the line of scrimmage and not – he's being a woman about it. He's not taking the physicality very well. And, you know, that's what happens. You watch film on a guy who was successful last year, who got free off the line of scrimmage every single time and is an athlete. He's going to catch balls, and he's going to make you miss. But when you jam him at the line of scrimmage, he's going to have a nightmare with it, and that's what's happening. So Stefferson being involved is going to be huge. Another vertical threat, another guy that can catch the ball. I mean, you know, I was watching. I went back and did a little bit of research on Stefferson, and I was watching him play against Miami and some of these other teams last year, and that dude caught a slant against Miami and just took off. It was unbelievable. He was such an up and coming guy, you know, like, and not so much up and yeah, he was a freshman, like a guy that was just making strides and strides and strides, and it was great to see. And then all of a sudden he just falls off the cliff, you know. So it's huge for him to be involved moving forward.
And we talked about that in the last couple of shows. Is we don't really have that guy right now that you know, we can hit on a slant or some kind of route where the guy's running and he catches the ball and he just keeps on running. That slant type of route, we just don't have a guy right now that makes that play. So Stefferson gives you that option. He gives you a long option, you know, with EQSB. He just gives you so many more options right now with a receiving core that's really not dynamic in any means. They're just kind of a catch and fall receiving core.
They're possession guys at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Claypool, I think he can make plays. I think, you know, he's capable and he's getting better and he's making strides. But Claypool at this point is really a possession guy. He's just going to kind of catch and do his thing. Alize Mack, as of last game, is showing much more of an improvement, but hasn't done anything to be more than a possession guy. What Stefferson is an elusive guy that you get him the ball on a quick slant or in space over the middle, and he's going to make a couple guys miss and make some plays. And that's exactly what we need to push these defenses more vertically. So, So yeah, I mean, that's good. That's as good of news as I think we've heard all year. You know, minus Wimbush being 100% healthy. So
yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully,
I did see though in Brian Kelly's presser today, Greer Martini is day to day.
Is he?
I don't know. I don't know if you saw that. So that's a little bit worrisome. You know, pretty good player right there, playmaker on defense.
Look, what's Coney's played over him at some point throughout and rotated with. He's as good. I'm not taking everything away from Greer Martini, but I like Coney. So I think what it does is it's the depth thing that we talk about, right? We don't want to just keep losing depth at any time. So
Exactly.
Okay, so I mean, look, we've had a bye week to prepare, and you know, we talk about Elko in this defense and how well that, you know, he's done and really exceeded all of our expectations. And you know, a lot of people can say we haven't played anybody, and you know, maybe, but look, we held Georgia at under 20. Okay, first of all, we haven't given up more than 20 points all year, which is impressive to me. I think that streak ends this week. But regardless, if you look at Georgia, I know it was Fromm's first game as a starter, but they have been steamrolling people and scoring 30, 40 points, right? I'm not saying that the offense that they are now is what they were in the second week when they played us with Fromm as his first start. But I think that's something that you can definitely take into consideration with some of this. Temple obviously isn't that great offensively. Michigan State isn't that great offensively, but you know, still we held on to 18 points. It's a solid Power 5 team. It went on the road and beat Michigan, Miami, Ohio, obviously, and then North Carolina. So there's two games on there that I think are respectable in terms of our defensive efforts and outputs, and other than just taking the ball away, you know, which has been an obvious improvement throughout the year. It's hard for me to get on the train of we haven't played anybody. Because I think there are some valuable experiences on our schedule that we've played this year.
I think you're absolutely correct. I mean, you look at, you made the point. We haven't given up any more than 20 points all year. You gave up 18 points to a Michigan State, and honestly, really kind of dominated a Michigan State team that, you know, beat a very good Michigan football team, and they seem to be getting a little more hype about up in East Lansing. But you've also won 3 games on the road, and
by more than 20.
Exactly, by more than 20. And I'd say 2 of those 3 are, respectable wins on the road. I don't think Boston College and North Carolina are kind of a stretch to say it's respectable. But I think anytime you go play a major Power 5, 4, 3 conference football team on the road and you're Notre Dame and you win by more than 20, that's a good win. I mean, you're going to get that team's best when you're on the road at their place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially when you look at seasons in the past of how we've played on the road and played down to competition, and you can say that in the first half of Boston College we did play down. I will admit that. I think we did. But we stepped on the pedal in the end and did our thing. North Carolina was a little bit rough to a start, but again, our defense is controlling things and putting us in really good positions, and we're winning 3 games on the road by 20 points or more. I mean, that's pretty impressive to me.
Yeah.
So
I want to say something about Boston College real quick. So on my visit to Boston, my girlfriend has a very good friend from home that goes to Boston College. So we took the train. The train, by the way, goes right from downtown to Boston College's campus. You literally get off the train, you walk across the street, you're on campus. Beautiful campus, reminds me just of Notre Dame's. Went into a couple buildings, it was like being at Notre Dame. I thought I was there for a second. But their football stadium is literally right in the middle of campus. It would be like, and I know Notre Dame Stadium is pretty much in the middle of campus, but it would be like if you took Notre Dame Stadium and put it over by the Golden Dome. And it's not a very big place, but there are so many goddamn stairs on Boston College's campus. I was winded by the time we walked the whole campus. It's no wonder Boston College sucks every year because they can't freaking run by Saturday.
Walking the class up 8 flight of stairs every day.
I'm not kidding, Bray. We started at their church, which is like their basilica, which is on the, I want to say, northeast side of campus. We then did a big old circle, kind of went around the stadium, and did a big old circle around campus. I was legitimately, and it was raining the whole time as well, but I was sweating by the time we got done.
Were you wearing your Notre Dame gear?
I was not. We were in the city all day, so I had I dressed a little more. I didn't think we were going, and I was dressed a little respectable. I mean, we were going out to dinner that night. We went back into the city, had a nice seafood dinner by the harbor. It was pretty good. So, but I will say Boston College's campus is good, but I know why they suck every year. They got to stop doing so many stairs.
You had the sore calves the next day after that one.
Yeah. So, and actually, her friend told me that there's a thing called Boston College booty, and what Boston College booty is every girl or guy, or I guess if you're into that kind of thing, has a nice booty because all they do is walk upstairs all day.
They squat all day.
So I guarantee when you watch Boston College on Saturday or you see a highlight of them, you're going to stare right at one guy's ass and see his nice ass.
Okay, nobody in the history of football has a bigger butt than Larry Fitzgerald.
I'll challenge him.
Is that weird of me? I mean, that's got to be weird of me to say, but
I've never looked, but I'll challenge him.
Seriously, look at Larry Fitzgerald's butt. It is unbelievably huge.
Can we change the subject? We're getting a little...
Okay, so keys to this weekend. What do you think?
Keys of this weekend. You got to run the ball. I mean, that's been a key every week. It's going to continue to be a key. You got to run the ball right down their throats because if just like every other week, if they sit on the run and stop the run, I'm a little worried. But I'm getting a little more confident in his throwing ability every week. Second key's got to be you got to make them beat you on the ground. I know they got playmakers in the backfield. They got playmakers pretty much all over the field, but I think your best bet is for them to beat you on the ground, and if they're going to throw it and throw and throw it, you got to put pressure on the quarterback. Those are my 3 keys. And you got to be loud if you're at Notre Dame Stadium.
The loud part it will be key. Look, I think this is going to be cliche, but it's the turnover battle to me because if you look at some of these stats, the USC is going to turn over the ball. Okay, they have 16 of them on the year. But what's even crazier than that to me is that guess what their turnover differential is?
I'm going to go -4.
It's 0.
Wow.
So their defense is taking the ball away 16 times as well. Now, don't hold me to this point, but I believe I read the other day that they haven't scored off of a turnover. Maybe that was a touchdown. So again, don't hold me to that. At the very least, the statistic was very low or lower than you would think with 16 turnovers. So that's very cliche, I think, of me to say, but it's it's so important for Wimbush and our offense to take care of the football. If we have 0 turnovers, we win the game, no doubt. Because to me, with the way our defense is ripping at the ball and taking the ball away, and their tendency to turn it over, and Darnold's 9 picks on the year, I think is going to happen. We're gonna get 1 or 2 turnovers, and it's going to be so key of us to not turn the ball over. So again, one key right here: if you don't turn the ball over, you're going to win the game. Okay,
Thanks, John Madden.
Yeah,
Thanks.
exactly. I was going to say that sounded so stupid, but that's how cliche that this game could be, and that's how simple this game could be to me. Because I think you're right. I think our offensive line is much better than their defensive line in controlling the line of scrimmage. Now they have some great pass rushers. Okay, don't get me wrong, but to me they have guys on the field that aren't like run congesters. Right, they're guys that are going to try to rush the passer, and you go right at those guys and put a block on those guys, I think we're going to be successful. So I'm with you. I think we're going to be able to run the football, okay? Now, whether they put 8-9 guys in the box and make Wimbush throw, they're going to have to. I would do that and make Wimbush beat us at one point in the game. So a key, run the football successfully, win the turnover battle, and, it's just look, you talk about it. You got to have a good start. We've been pretty successful this year with good starts, and I just keep thinking about this. It's like, look, Elko has been so good, and he's had 2 weeks to watch film and study Sam Darnold in that offense. If you're telling me that in a week's time that we've had a couple turnovers, like I remember Greer Martini's interception and Julian Love's pick 6 against Michigan State. Both of those players literally said that we studied that play this week and knew exactly what they were running and made the play. So you're telling me that after a week of Elko preparing those guys, that after 2 weeks he's not going to figure out something with USC, and USC has not a bye this year. So they have, to me, that's a real advantage for us. And it's just another step. Can Elko continue to be better, and can this defense continue to really keep us in games? Because I think we're going to score. I think we are. But again, I think the 20-point thing, our streak of 20-point or less games as a defense is over this week. I think that they're just capable of doing that. So I don't know. Prediction on the game? Do we win?
I think we win. I hope. I got to hope we win. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say are we going to win or not. Text me after the first quarter and I'll tell you. I hope we win, though. God, I hope we win. I'm going to be hammered drunk, drinking all day for Ball State homecoming. I might go to the Ball State game because it passes the time in between tailgate and Notre Dame game. There's going to probably be some fiery tweets. There's probably going to be some beer cans thrown. Luckily, my girlfriend's not coming to town this weekend, so she does not have to see me.
Luckily.
Well, if she would see me during this game, she'd probably break up with me right there. She doesn't understand sports, so that whole thing. But I do think it's going to be a very down-to-the-wire game, and I'm hoping we score very late or blow them out to win. But I think we win. I hope we win.
So I picked them. I've been right this year so far. I've picked them to lose to Georgia, and I picked them to lose to USC. This as my swing game. Okay, I'm going to say we lose. Because I'm just sticking with what I said at the beginning of the year. To be 100% honest, I expect us to win. But as all the statistics and everything has gone along, I can't, if this turned into a one-possession game, I can't trust Brian Kelly to this point. And I believe that this team is different, okay? And they have a different mindset to them, a different confidence, a different way about their operation. Than years past. I believe that has changed. The culture has, okay? But I need to see it happen, okay? And never in my life would I love to be more wrong than to win this game. So, again, I expect Notre Dame to win this game. I think we should win this game. But because of my preseason prediction, and I've been right, little humble brag, I'm going to say that we end up losing close by 3 at the end.
Does this game a little bit remind you of the Bush push game going into it? I mean, obviously we were pretty young, but does it remind you of it at all? They
are not that good across the board. Like Darnold's no Matt Leinart. They don't have a Reggie Bush. They don't have the receivers that they had in that game. We're much better defensively. No, I mean, So, and this is part of my reasoning behind picking this way is I felt like Notre Dame should win games, and they haven't. Like in the past, like we're better than this team, we should win. So, again, it's just it has to be shown to me that we can win this game, and I really want to be wrong, and I expect us to win. I would not be shocked if we won by 14. I wouldn't, and that's the same thing I said against Michigan State. Is I think it'll be close, but I think we could win by 14, and we curb stomped them. I could honestly see us doing some damage here, and I hope we do. But I'm going to stick with my gut. I haven't seen us win a big game since 2012 under Brian Kelly, and this is as big as it gets.
All right. Well, we'll see. Hey, how about we pick some other college football here?
Yeah. So give me your. So we've been doing these locks and an upset. I don't have any results from our last one because one, I didn't go back and listen to it, and two, my dog ate all my notes in my office. So
I went 3-0.
Yeah, maybe. There's no. I'll tell you this. I didn't do any gambling last week, but the 2 weeks before, I'm 4-0. Okay, so.
Ooh.
You might want to take my advice. No, I don't bet a lot of money. I've turned 50 into 175. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
When I get that up to $1,000, I'll probably throw 100 down on a game and see what that gets me. But I'm not going crazy. I'm trying not to go. I'm not trying to make it a lifestyle.
I'm gonna live through you because obviously I can't bet, so that's not fun. But hey, my first lock of the weekend is gonna be a big old Big Ten battle. Sorry, my headphones. Here, let me in. All right, here. Well, we're out again. All right, can you hear me? Here we go. All right, back again. Big Ten battle, East Lansing, Michigan. The old Indiana Hoosiers are going into town. Indiana gave Michigan a little scare last week, but I also think Michigan played god-awfully terrible. I think Michigan State's look pretty good. I'm going to go – so Michigan State's a 7-point favorite. I'm going to go lock of the week, first lock of the week. Michigan State wins by more than 7.
Okay. My first lock of the week, and look, I'm not very comfortable. This one I'm pretty comfortable with, but my other lock, I wasn't feeling too good as looking down the list of Power 5 games this week. My first lock is Iowa at Northwestern. Iowa's favored by 1.5. I just don't see. I cannot see Northwestern staying in that game and keeping that. I mean, to me, at 1.5, it's just who's going to win the game. Iowa's a much better football team. They're going to win the game. So,
way to step out on a ledge there, big boy.
Hey, these are locks. These aren't stepping on ledges.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They're not?
Here we go. I know, but Jesus.
What ledge did you step out on?
7 points. That's a touchdown, baby.
I guess. Again, Augie, these are locks. Are you betting real money on this?
Nope.
These are games right here that I would put $20-$25 on each game because I feel that good about them.
All right, here we go.
So, okay, what's your second lock?
Okay, so my second lock, I'm going to skip my second lock because I want to have a little drum. Well, no, I'll go with my lock. My second lock, there's a big battle in Muncie, Indiana this week. The Central Michigan Chippewas, 3-4 coming to Ball State. Both teams just having a rough season with injuries. Ball State came hot against Illinois in the first week, lost a heartbreaker. Beat Tennessee something technical Institute of Shit Technology in the second week. Third week, I don't even know who we beat. And now we've lost 3 straight. But
what's the spread?
Bray, are you ready for this? The spread,
Mm-hmm.
The line. Ball State's a 2.5 favorite. We're the favorites this week. Ball State covers. We win by at least 15.
15? Good night. Have you scored 15 points all year?
Easy, yes.
Okay.
My second lock of the week. Lock it in.
So we were calling this one our upset spread, but we were kind of talking about this, like how is it really an upset? So this is our no way spread. Our step
big
back,
balls pick of the week.
Big balls pick of the week. Our step back from that ledge pick. Okay.
Won't you step back from that ledge, my friend?
So this game has to be more than 10-point spread, and you have to take the underdog to not let the opposing team cover. So what is your no way spread? Step back off that ledge. I'm crazy. Put my money down on it. Pick.
Right. So I think we can all agree Alabama's been pretty good, right? Pretty good.
I would
football
agree.
Team. But see, I've been playing NCAA Football 13 for the Xbox 360. And this morning, I got hired as the Tennessee head football coach.
Okay.
My Tennessee Volunteers, my now third favorite college football team, 33-point underdog at Alabama. They lose by 32. Give it to me. Lock Big Ball's pick of the week.
So I pretty much hate you because that's my pick. And we didn't talk about this before. So, okay. So we will keep track of this as this goes on. And so let's say you've got $75 to put down on each of these total to put down the games. How much money are you putting on your IU Michigan State?
I'll go $10.
Okay. CMU Ball State.
$50.
Okay, so that puts you at 65. You got $5 to put on your Tennessee. Okay, I like that.
Yep.
I can do that. Okay.
I root with my heart. I bet with my heart, baby.
So I'm going. So this Iowa Northwestern game, I'm pretty confident in. I'd probably go $40 there. How much money do we have?
You said 75.
Okay, so the Oklahoma State. Oh wait, did I give my second lock? I didn't.
Oh, you did not.
Okay, so my second lock is Oklahoma State versus Texas. Oklahoma State is favored by 7. I'm gonna this again. I'm not feeling very good about these picks, but I'm going to take. I will bet that Oklahoma State covers that spread on the road, and I'm changing my Iowa pick to $50 because I'm not feeling very good about it. So I'm going to put 20 on that game, and then I'm going to put $5 like you on the last game, on the Bama game. So we'll keep track of our money and see where we are at the end of the year.
Yeah. Does Penn State or Michigan win this week?
I really don't. I don't think Penn State is. I think that they're good, but I think that if they played Bama or they played Georgia, they'd get curb stomped. But Michigan is not that good. So
I don't think John Harbaugh. So the talk about the Michigan fans right now is John Harbaugh is yet to win the big game on the road.
Yeah.
He won't do that this week.
He's not good enough at quarterback and hasn't been, and that's
the corn.
Right. That's the thing. Is like when he gets this recruit or gets a guy that's transformative at the quarterback position, they're gonna be tough to beat. Because they're starting to put some of these skilled guys around them that are pretty good, but you just don't have anybody to get the ball to, and they're all just game managers, and you need to be a little bit more than a game manager because I don't think their skill position players are not good enough at this point. However, they are getting better. So again, when he gets his quarterback, if he had Deshaun Watson, I guess if anybody had Deshaun Watson, they'd be good. But when he starts getting a guy that's
another John Madden moment from Brady Eagles. Thank you, Brady Eagles. Brady Madden.
You understand my point, okay? So he's going to be scary when he gets a quarterback, okay? But I don't think that they're that good. I think Penn State wins by 10.
Penn State wins by 10.
So, all right. You can catch Augie on Twitter at Augie Farwig. No numbers, right?
AUGIE. Only one G is not Augie.
Okay.
Augie.
So find Augie on Twitter this weekend, and he will probably be drunk live tweeting the Notre Dame football game, which will be great. You can find me on Twitter at BrayBeatles34. Our podcast is on Twitter as well at From the Dome 1842. Please give us a follow. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. If there's any other way you would like to listen, please let me know if that would make it easier on you. We're available on iTunes and the Podbean app, which I downloaded for the first time this weekend and is actually a decent app to hold your podcast on. But again, they have to be hosted on Podbean. So
you see that shit?
What was it?
My lights just I think there's a fucking ghost in my room. Lights just flicked on and off. So I'm gonna go ghost hunting after the show.
All right. Well, you drink your hams and go ghost hunting, and we will. We are back for the rest of the season. There are no more breaks for us. We're committed to the cause. So stick with us. Subscribe. Show your friends. Hide your kids and hide your wife, and let's win a game this weekend.
Jesus Christ! Why are we hiding our kids and hiding our wife? Go Irish.